jokes.
All right, let's get Andre Harrison on the phone. Andre, you there, buddy?
Yes, sir.
Andre, the champion, Harrison. Sorry. I'm auditioning to become a fucking announcer.
That was a good one.
What's up, Andre? Hey, man. Awesome fight last time, man. That was cool.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
So what's going on, man? You got the gold around your waist. Talk to me a little bit about the fight against Kurt. Was it? I mean, dude, long fight, man. 5 rounds. That's not fun. That sounds like a nightmare to me.
Yeah, I mean, 25 minutes. It's not an easy time out there. But I'll tell you a quick joke. All right, just this between us. So sitting up there, and I think we were going into the 3rd or the 4th round, and my trainer is like, Andre, listen, you're in shape, you're not tired. Like, you do this on a regular basis. I just need you to go in there, stay off the cage, hands up, throwing combinations, execute your combos, right? So as I'm listening to that, I overhear Kurt's corner go, he can't keep up with your pace, right? So right away I get on the defense, like, because in my mind I can keep up with anybody's pace, right? And so he was like, just go out there and push the issue, So I say to myself, well, what his corner doesn't know is that a lot of people say, you're going to have to knock me out or submit me or, break something in order to win this fight, right? But I actually mean that. When I'm saying that to myself in my head, I actually mean that. I'm never, ever going to see myself quitting up. The day I give up on any position, that's the day I know I'm no longer a fighter, right? I sat up there, and we come out, and in that round, that's when Kurt opened up. He threw a real nice combo right at the minute, right down the middle, and hit me with a good right hand. And I was like, man, I wonder if Kurt overheard me saying that, because he's trying to put me out right now. That was just a little funny.
Is that I never knew you can hear what the other corner's saying?
Yeah, well, only in between rounds. While I'm actually fighting, I don't hear anything anybody says.
Oh, so even when your corner's like yelling, "Here, put your hands up," but you're not hearing any of that. You're in your own head.
Very little. Very, very little. I'm taking in, like,
because I
try my best to listen, but I'm taking in very little while I'm actually fighting.
'Cause when we hear it, like, what I always think, right? You watch two guys fighting, and you hear both corners yelling shit out. As a fan, I'm going like, all right, well, I would just be listening for what the other corner is yelling, and then I would just fucking counter whatever they're yelling to that guy.
Yeah, a lot of people do that, but that would be a terrible technique with me because sometimes I don't hear that. So I don't know how well that'll work.
Yeah,
hopefully
and then what if you hear the other? You think it's the other corner, and they're like crane kick, but it's some fucking drunk dude in the 3rd row, and you put your arms up, you get ready for the crane kick, and you're fucking down.
That's it. You're going to sleep.
No can defend.
Yep.
So look, man.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was gonna say, man, the whole experience, was the first Fight Pass thing. Tell me about that, man. Was it crazy? Did you feel a difference between fighting in Titan FC in the last event, 34, versus the previous time that you had fought?
Well, here's the thing, and this is how I felt about it. I don't know about the other fighters, but for me, when we fought on CBS Sports, I always knew what time I would be fighting. I knew I was going out at 8:45. I knew I was going out at 9. Right, like, in and around exactly what time you're going to be fighting. When we were on Fight Pass, they was like, yo, we're starting at 6, and we're keeping it running the whole time. So be ready. So it's one of those things where I'm sitting down there, somebody gets dropped, and I'm like, all right, let me get up, warm up. And it's like, all right, well, this fight is going 5 rounds. And it's like, so I was back there, like, I started getting really sleepy back there. Because while I'm away, while I'm there, I'm pretty much doing everything by the book. And so I'm going to bed, early. I'm waking up early, and you fight really, really late. So that's not a good strategy. And so I was getting really, really sleepy back there, waiting for the fight to come out. Like, I went out there kind of, on the sleepy side.
So now, why is it that? I mean, I guess with Fight Pass, is it because it's not a scheduled program on a network? They don't have to get to the next show, so it just basically rolls how it rolls. There's no programming where they walk out.
And they also showed every single fight on there,
right?
Yeah,
like all because I remember because I thought it was one of those things where I was watching it And then I thought it was one of those things where it was the last 5 fights, and I started, and then I realized I'm like, fuck, this is gonna be a long goddamn show. I was getting tired too.
Man.
I could only imagine, dude. You had to actually fight. I could lay down.
Yeah, I know better for next time. Like next time, I'm gonna make sure like when I start like 2 weeks out, I'm gonna start going to bed like super late and waking up a little later and doing it that way. I'm trying to work out around the same time that I'll be fighting.
Now, I mean, how much does that matter? Because that's another thing we hear a lot about. Guys
that
fight
matters
over.
a lot.
I think so.
Fighting overseas. That I guess in Brazil it ends up being, if you're from California, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. That's a very real thing. The time of day that your body is performing at its absolute best.
That makes a very, very like my friend Levon Makashvili, right? He's a fellow 45er, and he just got signed to the UFC, right? And when I watched him in his UFC debut, he had absolutely like no aggression, like none. And it was funny to me because that's his thing. Like he's a very, very aggressive person. And so to watch him in that state, it was like, yo, what's going on? And he told me, he was like, well, I was warming up, like I started getting sleepy. I had to splash water on my face, all this other stuff. And I was like, man, that's serious right there, man. You don't realize like little things like that, like it makes a humongous difference. Every little advantage you can get when you fighting, you need it. Like I one time I heard Ronda Rousey mention that she said Olympic swimmers shave their bodies before they go and compete to make their bodies more aerodynamic in the water. So at that level, something as simple as like grains of hair, that makes a big difference. Then your body not being accustomed to performing at certain times and you're competing at other times. That's a colossal difference. Like you can't possibly expect to be a top-notch fighter if you're not, doing everything, according to your fight and your training.
Well, it's funny you say that because like I am not a top-notch fighter or athlete. I go to the gym a few days a week, and once noon hits, fuck that, dude. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah, you cannot get me on a treadmill after noon. It's got to be between 10 and 11 a.m. is when I'm peaking. So
there you go.
I can relate, is what I'm saying.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So what's the temperature right now with the UFC? Because I think everybody that I spoke to, including Jeff Aronson, who is one of the best bosses you could possibly have in the business. What a sweetheart of a guy. Everyone kind of is in agreement that all eyes are on these fights now, and it's kind of almost, it feels like an audition for the UFC. I mean, obviously you can't disclose too much, but have you spoken to these guys? What is the process looking like? Because you said it yourself last time. The ultimate goal is to become the absolute best in the world, and that's where the best guys are.
Yes. I have no idea whatsoever. I mean, after my fight, they brought Desi in literally as I'm getting the belt put around my waist, and they announced the fight. We knew relatively early that, we would be fighting in September. So I'm like, all right, well, this is a quick turnaround. So I had no time to sit up there and think about, UFC or think about anything else. My mind was just on Desi, just getting ready to make sure I go out there and get my hand raised again.
Yeah, Desmond, also super cool guy. We've had him on the show a couple times at this point. He's a tough guy. That fight is coming up on September 19th. I mean, do you know Desmond at all? I mean, is it a guy?
Yeah. We cut weight last time together. But yeah, I know Desi. I mean, I've seen him on the last few shows and everything. I watched his last few fights. We fought on the same card, and I usually just stick around and watch the rest of the fight. So yeah, I know Desi.
Yeah, a lot of people thought that he won that fight against Kurt Holloway, super close fight. So, look, dude, honestly, dude, we wish you the best of luck. We always love talking to you. What's your Twitter again? How can our fans find you?
Dre the Bull.
Dre the Bull.
Yeah, that's Twitter and that's Facebook. And Instagram is Dre the Bull MMA 145.
Love it, dude. Listen, man, good luck on the 19th, and we'll definitely check in afterwards, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Oh, you're the best. Talk to you soon, buddy.
All right. Have a great night.